Harder Brunch presents Back to Adult Summer Camp.
Sponsored by Upland Brewing and Culinary Crossroads.
August 23rd through the 25th.
We have comedian headliners Kelly Collette and Dwight Simmons.
We got musical acts Draco, Sirius Black, Philosophy of Music, and Tuesday Atlas.
Activities like archery, canoeing, campfire, swimming, crafts. Don't forget to get your tickets at eventbrite.com.
Harder Brunch. Nope, we're not going to say that together, but it's Harder Brunch.
I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddaeus Mckee.
Slappy Pappy Went Johnny Cardi V.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last bespoke dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan, everybody.
What's up, Harder Nation?
Hey.
A very special first-time guest with us in studio. I feel like you're part of the Harder Brunch, cinematic universe.
Yeah,
but you're a very behind-the-scenes person.
Yep.
But my longtime friend, artist, and videographer.
Yeah,
I like this intro.
guy who likes to edit videos together and never really know what I call myself at this point, but videographer works. That's
Elijah Grimes.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
AKA
Thank you for having me.
Eli. Do you go by Elijah now?
No, I do not. It's Eli. It's always been Eli. I put Elijah on formal documents or stuff like that.
On paper.
On paper, I'm Elijah.
Man, Dyke gaslit me thinking that I met you before. Like, he was like, oh, like, you've definitely met Eli. I'm like, I don't think I have. And for years, like, I've been told I've met you. And so when I went in for a strong dap when he came into the door. Yeah. I was like, hey, man, it's good to see.
We've known each other for years.
There's been a lot of false Eli sightings, too, because then there's just like any kind of like a random white guy who's over. He's like, that's Eli, right?
No, I didn't realize. I don't think I had met you face to face before today.
And this isn't Dyke Michael's fault. It's just that I don't go anywhere, do anything. So I'm the quintessential just stay at home. I don't like to do much and make my little videos and stuff like that. So.
Well, we saw you in videos before.
Yes, that's why. Probably when I was in a sketch comedy group with Dyke here years
I
ago.
feel like the team is back together.
Yeah. Oh, were you part of the Mogwai skit?
Yeah.
Yes, I was the guy. That was me. I'm trying to buy a Mogwai from him, and the racism ensues. The weirdest part, though, do you know that the sketch that upsets everybody, do you know which one it is? Yeah, it is Gary's Diamonds.
Oh, that one?
Gary's Diamonds, I got the most. Here's the thing. When we were making those sketches, I had immediate feedback from the people at the strip club I was working at the time. They go, we love that episode. That was really funny. And just really into everything we were doing. And then Gary's Diamonds comes along, and everybody was just kind of upset with that. So my wife was in that sketch way before we were married, but she was.
Let me just say for the audience, they had a sketch called "Jumping the Shark," right?
Oh, our sketch comedy group was called the Jumping Shark Show.
Yeah.
What was the original name?
The Jumping Shark Minstrel Show.
Yes, it was. I still have it. I came along. It was you and Ira's concept at first. The original 2 people talking about that were you and Ira, and you called it the Jumping Shark Minstrel Show. You're both black, so it was whatever. But when you started to extend who's going to be in it, mostly white people. You
did a whole season of it.
Oh, it was called the Jumping Shark Minstrel Show. We
and then
did
you were
whatever.
You were like, can we change the name? I was like, no, it's the name. And you're like, I don't feel comfortable.
I was like, I don't think this is good, and I'm like, but the creators are black, I just didn't want to.
The crazy thing is, we had to be Harder Brunch Minstrel Show for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. He was trying to get that over for years.
It was bad.
Yeah,
what he made you.
No,
do.
It was the Harder Brunch cotton picking hour. Which you were on board with at first.
You should have heard that theme song music.
But I still have, I think I sent you a picture of, I have an original Jumping Shark Minstrel Show t-shirt in the plastic from when we were like trying to promote and stuff like that. And, it can be yours because I'm not ever going to get to wear it. So it'll just be getting dusty.
I wouldn't even show that in public.
So anyway.
Why do you have this, sir?
Yeah.
What was so bad about Gary's Diamonds?
Gary's Diamonds is a blood diamond sketch. It's about girls doing a... he went to Gary's, and Gary's actually makes sure that they're suffering in each one of these diamonds that you get. And it was just graphic.
That was one of my favorites. Kids
losing limbs and all this stuff, whatever. And it was out of 3 suburban... three suburban white women or whatever, just very, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And that's what we figured the sketch was okay. It was just because it's so absurd.
Wait, kids
like
lost
obviously
limbs? Or were they talking about
it? They're talking about it. No.
image.
It's 3 women just describing,
the atrocities.
The atrocities of whatever,
diamonds.
and that's the one. And it's like, and that's one of the last ones. And it's like, yeah, okay. Because the thing is, we could never be more than... like our parents saw. It was like we didn't really have much of a following. We tried, whatever you're going to do. And we had something going on. But it's like you have people that go, oh, you did so good. Oh, that was great. Oh, you did your little sketches together or whatever. But when you try to like step outside of that with that audience, they don't want to hear about it. That's how I felt about that.
I heard a lot of complaints about Plan C.
Oh,
Plan C had a lot of surprise complaints.
We know a lot of young mothers, so that was
Plan C was a birth control that ripped a hole in the space-time continuum and let you go back to the night of conception to warn yourself. But that wasn't quite the offensive part. The offensive part was the woman who's doing the commercial starts off and she's just like haggard and cleaning, cleaning the house and like plunging the toilet, and just like you just hear a baby screaming in the background, and she's just like, I remember when I had joy. I remember when my life was good.
I had goals and dreams and whatever. It's so mean. It's very mean spirited.
And then at the end of the podcast, she's like got her shit together and like graduating from college and stuff like that.
She's like, then a friend calls her to go do something, and she's like, nothing's stopping me, and winks into the camera, and it's Plan C.
I mean, I feel like these would do very well in today's market, actually.
No. Yeah, in the 90s, man, like most of our stuff was like, influenced by Mr. Show and just stuff like that, subversive stuff. The State. We love the State. So Chris Rock Show. I had a lot of the sketches on the Chris Rock Show were some of the best ever created. So I really like that.
Our sketches were 90s sketches in the late
2010. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we liked. So we're just like making really just and at first it was like stuff like Colonel Sanders. That's so inoffensive. It's just a funny.
I think you're looking good.
For those who don't know out there that might be watching, we did a thing called Colonel Sanders Screen Test where I dressed as Colonel Sanders. I'm in famous movie scenes like doing the Terminator, the come with me if you want to live, 2-piece, that kind of stuff. Like it was always finding a way to work chicken into it. It was ahead of its time because I feel like it was before the Colonel kept changing. Do you remember that? Like we were like right before that where it was Norm Macdonald and it was all these people, whatever. We had done that sketch right before that, so it was like most sketches were because we had the Halloween costumes.
Yeah, I was about to ask, did you just have that costume on deck? Or did you go put it together?
Oh, the Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
Oh, I was Colonel Sanders for... there was a big hotel party one year. It was at the... Cliffy had rented out that thing or whatever, and it was like I was Colonel Sanders, and we had a Jessica Rabbit costume that never did anything with that. Or Fonte as WWE wrestler Billy Gunn is one of my favorite costumes I've ever seen because it was horrifying. But... yeah, if you had a costume, we did a Super Mario Brothers thing. Super Mario Brothers, where he's the counselor for Peach and Mario going through couples problems. And
that's great.
And he was we're telling him our problems. It's all puns. It's all this and that. And then you see his notepad, and it's just coins and pipes. Like he's just drawing like stuff from Mario. Very like most of the stuff, whatever. But then whenever we tried to step out of that and tried to do something a little bit edgier or whatever, it's like we just didn't find our audience yet. That's just all it was.
Did the views not find the audience or just direct friends? Because those are two different things.
Oh, it was like our direct friends watched. It's kind of like,
okay.
Well, okay, whatever. When we were in a rap group or whatever, it was always like we were good for the venue because we would just bring all our friends and they just drink like crazy or whatever. So it didn't really matter. Like your music can be terrible because you're moving liquor. So that's what's important. And
we can pack out the melody in on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. And everybody drinking PBR or whatever and stuff like that. So we were good. They were, oh, yeah, we'd love to book you guys again. You know, they got to hear that back then. It was like, oh, great. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but you're, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter who comes through here as long as your fans are respectful, don't break anything, and drink a lot. Come on in.
I was telling Thad, so the way we met, like, in high school, but we weren't really, we didn't really hang out in high school till it was like
similar friend groups,
right afterwards,
friend of a friend.
But I was telling Thad, I was like, one of the first things, you came up and asked me to be in a play that you had written, and I was very excited. You were like, oh, I got this part for you. I think you'd be great for it. And I was like, oh, cool. No one's ever like had any faith in me to do anything like this before. I was like real excited. And
never
like,
let it go.
The next time I came in, I was like, so when I get you're gonna show me the part? When am I gonna get those lines? And you're like, oh, I just figured that you were a drug head and you weren't gonna take this seriously.
Yep, that did happen. He's never gonna let it go. I didn't know him. It's all I knew was I wasn't partaking in anything at the time. I was pretty straight arrow, at theater kid, you know, whatever, and just.
Yeah,
long hair down to my butt, you know. Like, he's not gonna, he will never blah blah blah. And I gave it to some choir dude. He did a good job. That guy did. Richard, he did a good job. I remember his name, Richard Rivera. He did a great job in my play. But after that, I started making these little stupid movies with my friends. Like it was always after everybody came over from Monday Night Raw in like 1997, and after an episode, everybody's hanging out, drinking, doing whatever, and we just like, let's make a movie, quote unquote, which was always just like bad horror movies and all that stuff. And then he started. How did I get back in touch with you by the time you started doing those?
Some got sick.
I think so. Somebody brought me over. Somebody brought me over.
One of those.
Yeah, we go to Eli's house to watch wrestling, and I was like, "Oh, Eli, this guy." And I went in there, and it was just like everyone's like watching wrestling and stuff, and I was like not into wrestling at the time, but it was just like it was Attitude Era, so it was like the most entertaining possible deal ever. Mm-hmm. But like, but then he was like, "Yeah, stay around afterwards," and it was like play around, make little vignettes or whatever, like movie, like
pre-internet, pre-anything where anyone would see these other than your friends. Like you just put on like we made a horror movie. Watch this,
you know, that kind of stuff. He had this thing called the video toaster where he could actually like edit VHS tapes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he like you did some of the stuff like in school, right? Like you did some of the school stuff.
All this started from TV class in high school.
But like being able to put like even titles on a video back then was just like, oh, we're living in the future. You know?
I just did this like title card for a local wrestling promotion that said like, you know, this Saturday, this is gonna happen. It was like the cheapest thing you've ever seen or whatever. But I was like, I made it to TV. I was on TV 53, I think it was. It was like where ECW used to air. And then it was like in between a commercial break. And I was like, I made that. And I recorded it because I taped everything back then.
I was telling him the other day, I was like, because we did a few of those movies and videos. And I was just like, at the time I was really into acting. And I think it was like that fall, I was working at camp and they asked me to do this. What I thought was a play or a sketch, and it was like it turned out it was a Hell House.
Accidentally been Hell House.
No, I can't say that.
But they gave me this, and I was like, man, look at all these lines I have. Like I was just real excited to get in the character, and it was like I was the last stop before whatever, and it was like supposed to be like
you're the closing act.
I was the closing act, and they were like, really got to gas it up, and so they would come into this campsite basically in the woods, and I'm sitting there with the fire, and I was supposed to be like a high school kid who had like died before he accepted Jesus and was like burning in hell. And so like I had a Letterman's jacket and I remember I put this like white baby powder all over and I had a big chain and I duct taped a bowling ball to it. And then I just came out. I was like, some of it was lightly stolen from Beetlejuice, but I just came out. I was like, Coach, is that you? I was like, what happened? I don't think we made it. And all the kids start going like, ugh, like they start backing up and I'm like, don't leave. You can't leave me here. Don't leave. The kids were fucking traumatized.
Man, like you were really like if you didn't nail your part, people would go to hell, like actual hell. Like that's a lot of pressure. Like, hey, this is
this was like after you'd been doing the movies and stuff like that, quote unquote stuff, where you're like, well, I've acted in things before.
I have some experience acting.
I have done Hell House 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I was in Cavalcade of Crap and other such nonsense.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I think I accidentally was at a conversion camp for summer.
What if there was like an extreme Hell House, like where you're allowed to lay hands on people?
I think you're thinking of The Purge.
Yeah.
No, because there's like those like terrible like haunted houses where like, they're allowed to punch you for some reason. But like someone's like, I just didn't get enough.
Signed up for it.
I just didn't get enough from the Hell House, so I need to sign a waiver.
If you have to sign a stack of waivers before you go, I don't think I want to go into that haunted house.
This one says actual demons can come and enter us. All right, I'm in.
So real quick before I can see where this is going. I do want to say, man, you do an amazing job doing all the editing and stuff. How long have you been doing the clips for us now?
Just 6 months, 7 months. Like that, actually on the payroll.
Yeah,
it's 6 months, 7 months, like that.
When you decided to pay.
Well, I mean, like when I was looking for, I mentioned to Thad at brunch that I was looking for a photo of you or whatever, and I was like, the clean comedy thing popped up or whatever, and I was like, that was August of 2022, so it's like I've been doing stuff for you for a while, but it was freelance and just out of the like, oh, help Dyke's thing, whatever, blah blah blah. That's just how I looked at help your career. With stuff that I can do or whatever, and I thank you for bringing me into the extended universe. I enjoy that. So it's just fun to make. It's fun to do that stuff. I love to Photoshop. I love to edit.
I know we have a lot of comics and business owners and artists. If you need commercials or digital flyers or any kind of thing like that,
or someone just to talk to.
You're just lonely at night.
Yep.
You tell someone your dreams.
You need somebody to feed your fish. I'll feed your fish.
Need someone to listen to your dream journal. How would people get in contact with you?
Simply enough. One of the two ways. You can just get me at ElijahGrimes@hotmail.com. Yes, I still have a Hotmail, but that's just been my oldest email for the longest time. And if you ever want to just check out Mean Maxine and on our Instagram and message me there and say, hey, I heard about you from this thing, and I'm the one that answers. So
now, what is Mean Maxine?
Okay, time. Mean Maxine is my mother's business, and it's basically the two of us are Mean Maxine. We have a store at 2824 North High School Road. She's been making stripper clothes since 1980, and it started with her just making panties for strippers because they needed legal bottoms. Some of you might not know that if you don't wear the right bottoms, you can get arrested in the state of Indiana. City of Indianapolis, I think, is more that specific because Fort Wayne just passed a rule where you have to wear a full butt cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, girls all have to wear shorts there, stuff like that. So we're shipping, like some girls are buying, give me 6 colors of shorts to go with my outfits, whatever.
But titties out.
But titties out.
Oh.
It's just a weird religious influence. Anyway, back to it.
But she was out there stitching for laws, right? Like, so people could
yes,
follow the
at first
laws.
it was like they knew, or she knew that they needed these legal bottoms and stuff like that or whatever. So she started there, but then girls were just like, oh, well, you always make the best costumes for your mom. My mom made her own stripper clothes. My mom was a dancer in the late 70s. And she would make her own stuff. And like, well, you make really cute stuff. Why don't you make me this birthday outfit? Why don't you make me this? And it became... is to put the clothes on my back for a good portion of my life, whatever, either when they were raising me. And then she got me my first gig working as a strip club DJ. I did that for 7-8 years. And then I was just back working for the family business. And that's where I've been ever since. But she gets the best social media, I do your subtitles and stuff and put in them fun, whatever. But with dancers, I feel like I really got to distract them with nonsense. So it's all colorful and weird, just whatever, just stuff I don't care for, but I think they might or whatever. Because a girl once told my mom's like, whoever the girl is that does your social media does so good, and I didn't say anything. I was like, yes,
you fooled them.
I fooled you. So yeah. Good.
I just love the fact that you're also Maxine behind the curtain.
Yeah, if a lot of the time I answer the Instagram. If you're talking to Maxine, you're talking to me.
Yeah, this social media.
Anybody great. Out there that is actually whatever, you might have been talking to me. I don't say anything weird. It's just like, okay, sweetie, blah blah blah, honey, blah blah blah, whatever. Smiley faces, but I think of that voice in my head.
Oh wow!
When I'm writing, it's just the way to so I talk like a woman, an old woman might talk.
I've never met a professional catfish that's like doing good.
A lot of our best customers and frequent customers know it's me, and so it's that is shattered, and they'll go, hey, they usually call me Maxine's son. I get Maxine Jr. You get Maxine Jr. a lot. Max would work. So there you go.
It worked better.
Oh, I love the that one with the tunnel over there is the one with the Kid Cudi underneath it. I just remember that one. It's like one of my earliest. Here's the thing. I am so sorry that I ever didn't start Instagram way sooner for my mother's business. So this is something that is like, I cannot believe that I waited so long to affect this has affected the business in a way that we really needed during we had to reduce size of the business at one point. We had those 3 stores on Lyndhurst,
awful
and then we had to go back down to one. I know. We went down to one little store or whatever, and then from there got the new store we have now, and we are doing much better, but it's because I started Instagram. Here's what we have in the store. Here's whatever. And it was at your suggestion, because you were like, why aren't you on Instagram? You need to get on Instagram, and you were absolutely right about that.
It's like almost like if Magneto's dad was a miner, and the whole time he's like, we need to find more metals in the ground, and Magneto's just like, watch it playing video games.
I was completely lazy for the longest time with this, but then it was just something where I was like, well, duh, I can just show what you have in the store, and then after that gets boring, just start putting up weird, the black light thing. That's something we have that the most stripper stores don't. We have a black light, so you can see how things glow in the store or whatever before you take it to the club.
So does she design the clothes, or is she purchasing and curating?
It's half and half.
Half and half.
My mother does the blonde girl in that first picture there, for instance. She made the outfit that she's wearing there, and then the next one after that was a custom work.
Not a lot of outfit there.
Oh yeah, that's a suit. But my mom's stuff is distinct from the stuff we get from distributors. We do have distributors, a couple of them, but we try to find more interest. We deal with a company in Arizona called Hot Girl, and they're only a distributor. They don't do wholesale, but their stuff is very mom and pop like us, and we sell them panties and they sell us. It's just kind of a symbiotic. Is it symbiotic?
Yeah.
Is that the right thing?
We're
I wish, but no. Unfortunately, just a symbiotic relationship in the sense that we're helping them, they're helping us. And we want to find more businesses like that, because the girls are the stuff we get from some of our distributors, the same stuff you can get in Cirilla's or any of those kind of places. But we want to be one-stop shopping for your...
You're better.
For today's stripper.
You guys are better.
Now, would you say, is it...
We are, actually.
100% exotic dancers, or is it sometimes
lately I've had a lot of sex clothes, what I call sex clothes purchases. I was like, sex clothes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Couples, whatever. It's usually a man, and he'll say that whatever, and I take them at face value and try to help out, whatever, that's what they're looking for. But yeah, I do sell some of that now. It's still, when they see what kind of clothes we have, it's mostly spandex, and it's not, we have some lingerie, but...
Do you have a fitting room?
Yes, we do.
Good.
And that's where our black light is. We have regular light, black light, whatever, so they can go in,
That's
try it on,
so
and
good.
look.
Yeah.
It's a double purpose black light.
So what makes a bottom legal?
A bottom legal, it's the inches in between, on the back of it, the inches in between the butt and the butt crack, and it has to be at the top, and there has to be this much material at the top of it. It's a weird,
so it's okay.
Could you imagine someone goes and measures that, it's 1 centimeter off? It has to be very small, you're right?
You'd think they'd have a little tool, a little thing they can put up beside it to see if you're legal or not. Kind of give them the thumb test.
Because thongs are legal, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Probably not in a public presentation. It's probably just I've never known the exact ins and outs of that law.
These are technically publicly legal outfits, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's you can't what is it, Excise, if they want Excise cops, if they want to come in and check that. My mom actually ended up on a paddy wagon in the late 70s for that very thing, where this all comes, because it was too small. And so all the girls at dance, what's now Dancers, used to be called the Roost back then.
So in Fort Wayne, they could bust in, and if you don't have your butt chaps on or whatever.
When you were a strip club doorman at Rio, did you ever get Excise raid? Ever happen?
No, I don't. I've only worked in one bar, I think, when Excise was in there, and I was at the tavern, the Rockville Tavern.
Oh, okay, yeah. We got called one night by Brad's Gold Club, or the Brass Flamingo, called over to the Gold Club where I was working at the time, and they were like, the cops were just here, and they're coming to you, and it was this whole like, get ready, here they come kind of stuff, whatever. And sure enough, they come in, they blocked off either side of Lafayette Street, or like either side of the road or whatever for speed traps or whatever, like sobriety checks. And then proceeded to go through, measure, took all the girls in the dressing room, measured, like a woman stood there and measured their panties, like all this nonsense, checking the bar, checking the deal.
Seems like some real creep ass shit.
Here's the thing though, at the end of it, Paul, our owner at the time, took a couple cops in the back and talked to them for a while, and then they just left. Nothing happened. So, and that's where the vault was. So I just assume, man.
Somebody got in the vault.
But I'm not incriminating it.
That makes sense.
Wait, what's the vault?
But I ain't one to gossip, so you
The
ain't
vault
hear
for
that from me.
his safe.
The vault, for his safe,
I mean,
safe
I'm sorry.
place.
The safe for the
What
money
they
at
keep-
the end of the night.
yeah.
He might have
What do you
gone
think
back
the
and
vault is?
It wasn't a gun.
his name was Frank. Frank might have gone back and
I
killed
don't know
somebody.
problems here, cops.
He was like, I keep something here just for this.
I was like, he stuck up the cops.
No, he paid the
In
vault.
this vault, I have a golden revolver that I only use for cops.
I got my cop killing gun and this pile of money. Which one do you want?
I got a bullet and 2 Jacksons. $40.
I guess anything's better than getting shot, but
Sir, we've been measuring for 2 hours. We got 10 cops out there. That's way more than $40.
It went on and on. Ugh.
The best part is like there was a while where
Oh, we on Etsy?
your parents also owned the costume shop, and so it was just like we'd go downstairs and it was just like rows and rows of like mascot costumes and stuff. And so like we just started filming stuff where it's like, I don't know, I'll be a giant pizza and you be Garfield.
Oh yeah, we did just, and I think a lot of the movie thing just evolved into sketches. Like a lot of the things we've called movies were just like the Kentucky Fried Movie or any of those where it's like a sketch movie, like a sketch comedy movie or whatever, where there is no real central plot, maybe a wraparound segment or whatever to tie it all together. But
would you be interested in doing a Harder Brunch cinematic universe film?
absolutely.
Harder Brunch the movie.
Yeah.
Harder Brunch the movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Harder Brunch the short film to start out with?
Yeah. Just
No,
start,
it should be a long film. 5 to 7
3 hour
hours.
runtime at least.
Yeah.
I hate that this is my first
It
question.
should be like a Netflix limited series.
Yeah.
I hate that
8
this is my
hours,
first question,
straight up.
but is there nudity in it?
Yeah.
Tasteful.
Probably. Yeah.
Tasteful news.
Tasteful?
What counts as nudity?
What's tasteful nudity for you?
Like half sack? No. That's
Yeah.
after brunch talk. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I
So
thought tasteful nudity was oral sex.
Oh, now I'm gonna say penetration.
I think it's a butt in the moonlight.
No.
That is
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
standard
yeah,
tasteful
yeah.
nudity. You do the
Oral
butt in the moonlight walk.
Remember that there was a brief time where they tried to make like ass cleavage a thing? Like there was like
Oh, yeah,
top
the
of-
jeans.
Yeah.
low rise, your butt.
I feel like there was like some like lady wrestlers that had like ass cleavage for like a month,
wait,
and then they were
what?
like, "We're not doing
Yeah.
that anymore."
Ass cleavage.
Isn't that just plumber's crack?
Not when a hot woman does it, I guess. Like a.
That's sexist. Can you give me an up and down?
Here's the thing, though. I don't know. I don't speak for everybody in the room.
I'm kidding.
The top of a man's
it's not
crack is
sexist.
not quite the same.
Some people love that plumber crack. Hi, have you been insulted by plumber cracks? Yeah, that'd be great. I need a Upland beer after that one.
See, but I don't know if you're talking about like plumber, like actual cracks. You might need to have plumber to come repair, or the plumber crack
they're
that's the top
crack.
of the butt.
You never seen a plumber crack?
Oh no, I know what a plumber's crack is. I'm saying it sounded like when
But
you
you
did
need
your
a mason to fix a plumber's
Your
crack.
commercial sounded like it was like, "Are you tired of plumber cracks?" It sounds like like your plumber causing all kinds of problems with your pipes.
Well, I just want
I'm
to
Thaddaeus
hire.
Mckee, and this is
I just want to hire a group of plumbers that you're promised to see their crack.
Okay.
Like you're not gonna these more professional plumbers.
I would hate to see that uniform.
They have belts.
Like this is what you're required to wear.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
if you
the
don't
best
see
of the
a
top.
crack, you get your money
Money
back.
back.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, 100%.
There it is.
Okay,
Anyways,
that could be the fake commercial at the beginning of the Harder Brunch.
wait, that's our first commercial.
Yeah,
This is
right
Friday
there.
commercial.
Man,
Hey
it's
guys,
been a good
anyways,
day.
if you've been having a hard day, you know,
Oh no! This is how you're segueing into our upland
That's
spot.
what I was saying. I saw it coming.
if your kids are kind of being little shits, and you're like, hey, I need to get away and drink, and like, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know, some people came to your house and said, you can't do this in front of the kids anymore. You know what? These don't even look like beers. Looks like little Happy Fun cans. All right. You want a little happy fun candy? Yeah. Drink Upland beer.
Yeah.
All right.
They won't take your kids.
They won't take your kids. This is a good way to get away with it.
They won't get rid of your kids, but they'll make you forget them for a little while.
I think that was kosher.
Upland beer, pretend it's candy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst commercial we've done.
No.
Does it rip a hole in the space-time continuum?
No, it does
not.
Will not be your plan C.
But I'm just saying, like,
Upland, rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
We don't know who's watching. Things can get kind of hard. I just want someone to be honest with me in these commercials.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're building trust with the audience.
Yeah,
Building trust, yeah.
Some people have really bad kids, and they need this.
That's true.
You know?
That is true. I always think that when I see somebody and their kids are just obviously fucking terrible, I think they need to probably drink more.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, people don't understand how annoying CPS could be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Always in your ear.
CPS, up your ass again. Drink this shit.
Drink this shit. What?
Yeah.
This is the greatest ad read I've ever heard.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be real with the audience nowadays. This is 2024. All right?
I can't wait until we get the list of things we're no longer allowed to say. Like, no longer call it this shit. We're talking about our beer.
No longer talk about how much you hate your kids.
Please don't mention kids.
Yeah,
Anywhere in the ad read, there's no need for it.
Done.
Kids. And you guys have brought up kids the last 17 times. You've talked about these beers. Stop. Just stop. We're getting yelled at. Stop.
Upland, we're very sorry.
We're not even paying you anymore. Stop talking about our product.
We're just like, did you see the veins popping out their necks? They were angry.
They need an Upland. We're like the bad kids.
Their kids probably
that make them drink.
Do you guys drink your own shit?
Hold
You guys
on.
drink your own shit?
That's when the commercial comes all the way around, as us getting yelled at in the offices.
Yeah.
Like, you guys need an Upland beer.
Hey, that was great.
Sounds like somebody needs an Upland.
Make Upland up yours. Upland up yours. Wait.
Hey, wait, that sounds like that catchphrase. That guy whose name you forgot. Is it Godfrey?
Godfrey?
Yeah, make 7 Up yours.
Was that Godfrey?
Yeah.
That's Godfrey?
The second
I
one.
used to love those commercials.
Who was the second one?
Not enough.
Why did when I performed for him?
First one was Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Was first, and then
And
he
then
was replaced
Godfrey.
by Godfrey.
Oh, that makes more sense. He was a great comedian.
Did you confuse the two?
Well,
Were both of them in the 80s?
Dyke and I were just talking about this. I forgot Godfrey's name when I was introducing him. So
I made a video out of it. I loved it.
It was bad.
It's the worst place to forget someone's name.
Well, it got to the point where
There he is.
It got to the point where like I was like saying, "Come on, you can make more noise for." Like, there's only so many times you could ask a crowd to make more noise.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you can do better than that. Is that all you got? This is the guy back here that you guys came to see.
But we don't know who he is.
All right, you can say his name if you want to early. You can say his name right now, and we'll start chanting it together. All right, more.
Who'd you come to see?
More noise.
I know I'm becoming an old curmudgeon because like I started like really hating like instructions when I go out to shows. They're like, throw your hands in the air. Like, I don't want to.
You've given me no reason.
Jump up and get down. How about no? I won't be doing any of that. I went to some rap show with Donald and his boy, and it was for children. Like, we got there, and I was just like looking it around, and I was like, where's all the people our age? And then I realized, like, oh, they're the parents. They're the parents. And they were all like sitting in chairs, and like we were down, and it was just like, I was just a sea of like, this is for children. Like, I didn't know where I was at. And then like I guess Gen Z does a thing, instead of like, put your hands up, blah, blah. They're like, sit down on the ground. Everyone sit down. And so it's like, if everyone's putting their hands up and you're not, no one notices. But if you're the only asshole standing in a room full of 200 people sitting on the ground, you just look like a awkward old man who got lost.
Who was the rapper?
Young Gravy.
And how did you get?
That's why.
How did you get talked into
UNG gravy.
Wait, young, like you say this is for kids. Do you mean in the way of like these are like 20-year-olds,
yeah.
or do you mean like this is a children's rapper?
Probably 15 to 20.
Oh, okay.
An all ages rapper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was.
I have never heard of Young Gravy.
I feel like I heard one song, like somebody at work.
Because that
played,
sounds like a kid's rapper.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like somebody
Yeah, must know.
Somebody played what I mean. It was like the kind of stuff that I would have liked when I was 16. You know,
okay,
it's like it's dirty and whatever, but it's like it's the age demographic was not for me. Yeah,
something in common with like Lil Dicky or something.
Yeah, like he's 25 and his fan base is all younger.
Okay.
But like someone played a song for me at work and it was just like the funny thing that we referenced at work. And so like sometimes I'll get caught up and they're like, oh yeah, let's go see whatever. And then I got there and I was just like,
I don't like any of this. I just thought it was a funny line.
This isn't for me. I just thought this was funny. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
Oh yeah, what if it was your own team that got together and like put something together to smear you like that? That's tough.
That's what I'm saying.
Unimaginable.
That's
Well, no, that's
unimaginable.
what.
And then
what
made
just
you
happened.
listen to it 5 times in a row.
Yeah. Putting it in a public forum. Putting it in a paid public forum.
That's what happened.
I see the parallels. Yeah.
It's striking.
I can see how you could think that.
Yeah.
It's alarming. Like,
But the good news is that you're the Drake of the Indianapolis scene.
I'm
and
not
that's
the
not
Drake
a bad,
of-
that's not a
It's-
terrible, that's not
you're
the worst thing to
idiot.
be. Like, you could be so many other things. It's a compliment.
Leo.
Oh yeah.
No, I would hopefully be the Kendrick.
I mean, that'd be cool. Everybody wants that, right? But
Yeah.
what happened today? Join us at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
Welcome back from that Tinker Coffee break. Brought to you by Tinker Coffee. Eli, you get
Delicious.
Tinker Coffee shipped straight to your house. Wow. Part of the coffee club. Mm-hmm. And if you use promo code BRUNCH, you can get 25% off your very first order. I want to know who's getting the coffee sent to their house because I need answers. I need answers.
I want to know the names and addresses of everybody. If you're using this coffee coupon,
It's time to stop messing around, people.
Yep.
Show yourselves.
Well, we'll get to it when we do. Let's go ahead and do the Smoking Goose brunch breakdown. Smoking Goose, you know where to find him over there on Bowman Street.
I like how you've completely lost confidence since you said it wrong for like 2 years.
I think I've driven by Smoking Goose before.
Well, you should go in next time.
Yes.
Because I tell you what, they got some of the best smoked meat charcuterie. We used a lot of it today, actually.
It was delicious.
You were fed some. So let's go ahead and start off. We were celebrating one of you and I's favorite films, Tom Green's
Films?
1999
Masterpiece.
masterpiece, Freddy Got Fingered.
Disaster piece.
Disaster piece theater.
I would put it on Disaster Piece Theater. That works.
I made Thad watch it for the first
You
time.
did.
For this episode.
Let his
Here's the
face
thing, Dyke has
tell
a
you
lot
how he
of-
feels about it.
Dyke has a lot of good suggestions with movies, and I was like, "Oh, this one, like this is art. It's gonna happen. This is what I'm gonna see." And then what I proceed to see is things that I was confused. Like I was like, "What? This was allowed?"
So
Yes.
I feel like he sells it wrong. So you have to go in expecting Tom Green and then appreciate what went into it and feel like, okay, I can see the art in this. But he sold it as art from the get-go, which is the wrong way to sell a Tom Green movie.
That's wrong.
Because then you go into it expecting some sort of genius and you get horse cocks right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long.
I feel like there is genius in the horse penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of genius in the horse penis. That's almost
Whatever
right.
you
Well,
wanna call
Well, no,
it.
there's genius in the whole thing, but you can't
Genius
frame
in
it.
the penis.
Yeah, you
I don't
can't
know,
lead
almost.
with that.
But also like this was this was definitely like you hear this a lot about stuff like this was so much of its time. This was he was at the top of the world. I think people forget how big Tom Green was at this time. That they let him do this.
Yeah.
It was just huge.
I remember a time when you would go to the movie theater, and before the movie started, there would be Pepsi One commercials with Tom Green screaming at people through a megaphone, going, "Drink Pepsi One. Pepsi One's the best." It was him doing his shtick from the show, because a lot of his stuff was confront people on the street and go, bags or bottles, that kind of stuff. That was his thing at first or whatever, and then it evolved into the show.
Is
and whatever.
He like the Will Ferrell of the time at this point?
No, he's more of a lot of people have said, this is up and down, but Andy Kaufman is more like what he was trying to do. He was just weird and just trying to do something like anti-comedy, anti-whatever. You know what I mean? He was just you either liked it and you got it or you didn't. Then that's a lot of people with Tom Green just...
But I also think this spawned whole genre, everything from this was pre-Jackass.
Yeah.
Jackass was influenced by it.
I feel like this was even on the leading edge of the extreme sort of unrated version of movies culture.
Yeah, or even stuff like Billy on the Street kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind
of predates that.
All of this stuff content creators are doing now, going on the street and just trying to get a good clip out of something. I feel like he was the first guy to really do that.
So I had my wife watch this for the first time in preparation for this, and it had been the first time I had seen it since I don't know, for 20 years. And I mean, first of all, it's shocking even by today's standards. It goes in hard. I forgot all of the things that happened, and it really doesn't take any prisoners.
Did you see it in the theater? Did we see it in the theater?
I don't remember when I first saw it. I know
I did. I just don't know if it was.
I know we've watched it multiple times together, but I don't remember.
Crying about his wheelie board ramp. There's so many things from that we've said over the years that it was just. So what did you find to be the most shocking then, since it was the first time you'd seen it, Thad?
I think the most shocking part that it was a movie.
In general that this exists.
In general,
people
yeah. I was because from scene to scene, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. And I'm trying to follow Rip Torn. They still try to have a basis of reality.
Yeah,
and I'm why are we even trying to do reality at this point? Let's just jump scene to scene
and have him
blow some stuff up.
Yeah, it'd just be crazy. And it's something about it's the scene where he goes to pitch the thing to Anthony Michael Hall. It still just kills me. I don't know what it is about David Davidson. Are you blonde? That I don't know what it is. And it's always where it's just our group of friends. It was just the thing we thought was fun. We just thought this was the funniest thing. But I've never been one of those people that goes, this is art. It's more this is what you can get away with. If a studio doesn't really care or pay attention, you might end up with something good, or you might end up with this where it's very divisive. You have people that do love it. It's cult following movie, but
it was a cult classic.
Well,
it's a cult classic.
So that I don't know. I don't know if it's that top one with him doing the hands like that, but there was the cover of the DVD and it was just wrapped in bad reviews.
Yeah, bad reviews.
It was just all of the bad reviews, and that's how they sold the DVD. Was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
But I do think that there is something. So there's something about it where
great soundtrack. I will say that.
So like Thad said, it does try to take itself seriously while not taking itself seriously at all, and kind of holds it. So there's some of the movies, the sausage scene is probably my absolute favorite scene, and it ends up being so funny, especially when Rip Torn grabs the sausages and yanks on him and lifts his hands into the air.
Yeah. Just breaks his sparks shooting everywhere. It's insane. And you've, as I said, as I've gotten older, I identify with Rip Torn more and more, where it's just of course, go destroy his stupid skateboard ramp. Get him a job. That's funny too, because I feel like he just left that in where when Harlan Williams injures himself on the skateboard or whatever, and he's got a bone sticking through his leg, and then Rip Torn comes out and he goes, "Get him a job." No, I mean, you get him a doctor, you get a job. It was obviously a flub, but Tom Green's whatever, just keep it in. That was the passion that he had on that take.
I think my favorite part is they're overseas. He's complaining just how he's wasted all this money.
Yeah. After all that,
just to get back to Adam.
My little drawings. It's God, and we have to talk about one more. The girlfriend, the girl in the wheelchair or whatever is. hilarious that after all that, he brings her the thing that, like, the grand gesture. I've been thinking about that lately because there's a movie. I was talking to my sister about this the other day because I was telling her I was going to come do this or whatever, and she was talking about. Have you ever seen the movie They Came Together? Do you know that movie?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a movie that tried to take a genre and turn it on its head, and it's surreal at points, and it's whatever, and has the trope where the guy finally sees the girl at the end, and she's like, oh yeah, well, I got married and had a kid, and it's been 2 weeks or something like that. It's like stuff like that, whereas when Tom Green does it with the big gesture and the helicopter and the jewels, all she wants to do is suck his cock. So that's, and you had to tell an actress to say that as the director, Tom Green, right? He directs the movie too, right?
All I wanted.
And he's like, now, can you say it with just a little bit more, like, you know, sincerity and whatever? Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
This isn't a joke scene, man. Like,
no, man. She gives it. She, bless her heart, she goes for it on that line or whatever. It sounds like she's trying to act. You know what I mean? Like, that's all she wanted to do, whatever. And it's so weird. The movie is wonderfully odd. To me, it's. Did you like the Tom Green show? Which I did. I had the Tom Green best of volumes 1 and 2. That was the show from MTV because I really just. Loved that person. The special where he told you to. Do you remember when he had a testicular cancer and he did the whole special about that, and then had a song about feel your balls and all that stuff that was like played dead seriously, but it's still you want to laugh at it or whatever. But it's just him goofing. But it was a serious message, men. Make sure you ain't got anything extra in there or whatever. So there you go.
I think at the time too, if you have to look at it. Really doing it, really dissecting Freddy Got Fingered here, but like I feel like if you're going to see a film based on your favorite prankster, you know what I'm saying? You're expecting these over the top things. If you're watching it 20 years later, like this is a normal film that is just like, what is this? You know, but it's just like, yeah, the guy that does the Bum Bum song, the guy that runs up to, like, follows a pizza delivery guy to the house and then has his own pizza with a tackle box full of toppings and says he's from Undercutter's Pizza.
Yes.
Like, that guy got a movie. And they didn't tell him he couldn't do it again.
I think, though, that Eric Andre movie, the recent movie, the Road Trip or whatever that was, or whatever, where Tom Green could have done something like that. It would have been much more safe at the time if he would have just done, let's try and loosely have a narrative of some sort, but I go do my street stuff with people, like a Bad Grandpa or any of that stuff. That, like, he kind of missed a trick by not doing that. It would have been really easy for him to do that. I would attribute that whole genre to Tom Green.
I was going to say, he is kind of like Eric Andre, but Andre's like him.
Eric, 100%.
It's like even more surreal. Like, Eric Andre's show is even more surreal than the Tom Green show had. His best friend Glenn Humplick or whatever, and then a guy that just sat in a window in the back or whatever, where he's just going, he's got a coffee cup in his hand and he just sits in a window frame, like, that's it, that's his whole bit or whatever. And then he would show his sketches where he messed with his dad or whatever, the Slutmobile. And the Dyke likes one where it's Tom Green is interviewing his parents about their loving relationship over these many years, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts to ask questions you should not ask your parents about do you like oral sex? Anal sex? Whatever. And eventually his parents are just like, we're not doing this with you, Tom. And they get up and leave. Then the next morning he comes back and he said, I wanted to say sorry for all the stuff that I did. So I commissioned a fountain to be made of whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a deal where he says, remember that time, Dad, that you got mad at Mom and you said, where's my dinner, bitch? He goes, it's the where's my dinner, bitch statue. And it's like, it's got Mom down on the ground about to smack her kind of stuff, and the dad comes out, destroys it, and he's like, okay, you guys didn't like the last fountain, I've got another one, and it's horrible. It's real bad, and it's like, how did his parents ever put up with this deal like you? And I wanted to say, though, I think he's used to better effect in the Road Trip. I said the movie Road Trip. Tom Green's a small part of that, and one of the more memorable parts of that movie is him trying to feed the snake.
That is
He's
true.
used small in a small, or Charlie's Angels. He shows up for 2 seconds and goes, the Chad was awesome. It's Tom Green doing his shtick, and then he's off screen, and you're like, okay, Tom Green, he's funny. Bye. You know, but an hour and a half of what's in his brain.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Is Freddy Got Fingered. Austin, Massachusetts.
I'm not trying to get off track, but is Euro Trip better than Road Trip, or is Road Trip better than Euro Trip?
I prefer Road Trip. I love them both, but I would say I prefer Road Trip.
I'm going to say Euro Trip just because I feel like I burnt that DVD out.
Yeah, you watched that a lot.
Scotty doesn't know.
You come over to his old apartment, like that movie and Club Dread. Anchorman. It was like that time period. So like those were like you would either see the movies playing or one of the menus is playing on the DVD.
Okay, yeah.
But it was like Yep. But Road Trip, I love that movie. I think that's Todd Phillips, the man who directed Joker. He can do serious too, but he made, Old School and Road Trip and
Hangover.
Yeah, it's just like crazy.
Old School's the best.
Oh yeah. Do you like it better than Hangover?
Which one? Hangover 3 is probably the best movie ever made.
Man, you were so serious when you said that.
Is that the one in Bangkok?
Is that the bad tank machine?
The first two, I'm
Bill
like,
Clinton was supposed to be in one of those.
What is this even about? What is this even about? And then the third one made all the sense to me.
Brought it all together.
It brought it all together. I was like, oh, I get it now.
I need that third movie.
Okay, so what do we eat?
So we started. Well, it was,
Yeah, so I did the Daddy, would you like some sausages? And it was smoking goose sausages. We had the kitchen sink sausage as well as it was like a Kolsch bratwurst that you'd picked up. And then I put some spicy brown mustard and then some sweet horseradish pickles.
It's delicious. I enjoyed every second of that.
I like a good sausage board. Did you make that mustard that was on there?
No, I did not.
Store bought.
I bought it and put it in
Sauce boss.
a little dish.
Well, I'm gonna have to ting you 2 stars on that.
2 stars.
2 stars.
That's the thing on. I only watched that was the thing I was thinking leading up to this. I'm like, I don't know how to describe food, and I've watched all this Gordon Ramsay, like hours upon hours of everything, like Hell's Kitchen and all that stuff, and I'm like, food was good.
Yeah.
Really liked it. It was delicious.
Dude, I went to culinary school and I'm bad at describing it. It's like it had a certain yumminess to it.
Yeah,
that
I
tum-tum
enjoyed. Yeah.
Well, all right, for our next section, was it good or bad?
But then also we did display the sausage. Well, I think we were trying to figure out a pulley, the lever system to actually to make them dance around.
Yeah.
And then
I bought a whole bunch of string and hooks to do that. And then what I didn't think about was that it was going to take more than 15 minutes to rig up a sausage dancing situation.
He probably had a team that worked on that thing for like a day or two.
Yeah.
And if Gordy would have just put that much effort into getting a job and making his dad proud instead of rigging up a pulley system for sausage,
And what they ended up doing
where
was
would we
just
be?
hanging it above my head for some reason.
Hey, dude.
I was like, I'm not the piano.
You're a total professional. You'd act like it wasn't even there.
Yep.
You did a really good job.
I would just have to like kind of move it
Yeah,
with my
you're
head
like,
and like,
well,
hey,
bob and
Doing some of
what are we
this
talking about over here?
weave.
Huh?
It was a what do they call it? A sausage mobile. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
like they hang over a baby's crib.
A charcuterie.
Nice.
That was over my.
Then what was the
Chicken burgers.
chicken burgers?
Chicken burgers.
28-year man, definitely chicken burgers. That was like one of the most top 10 probably quoted things that we've said to each other over the past
Yeah, eat a chicken
few
burger.
years.
Mhm.
Eating
As a-
chicken burgers.
And I didn't really. It was like a chicken burger. What? So would a chicken burger normally just be made out of like shredded or ground chicken?
Ground chicken,
Ground
yeah.
chicken. Okay. And I've never. That's not like when I get a chicken sandwich, it's breaded.
Yeah.
So maybe Canadians say chicken burgers.
Yeah.
I feel like
likely.
he said things off though.
Yeah.
Like I don't think chicken burgers are a thing. It's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like cheese sandwiches.
I just always imagined it was a Canadian thing. I just figured he was doing a Canadian. Like, well, chicken burgers. That's what we call them up there, whatever. It's like, at one point I had an Australian girlfriend and she said all kinds of wacky crap, so I'm going to go with that. That's what I always thought that, I guess.
Immigrant.
Immigrants. Yeah, it's one of them immigrants said something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've had like ground like turkey burgers and stuff like that. I always find them to be a little dry.
Yeah.
So the idea of making it like sausage and more like a breakfast
Yeah,
sandwich.
that was
was
so
like-
good. Yeah.
But then also I knew that the menu was pretty big today, so I was just like, man, no one wants to pound a whole chicken burger. Like, we're only on round 2.
A lot of sandwiches, it felt like.
Yeah, it was very
They were
starch
good.
heavy.
They were so good. They were so
Very
good.
heavy.
I was just like, blah, ate it all.
And then I think Zach's next round, I think was my personal favorite just because of the presentation
Yes.
of it.
I did more cheese on your cheese sandwich. I made a sandwich that had like 3 types of cheese on there. There was a Swiss, an American cheese, and then I think it was like a Gouda or something. And then I threw some American slices on top and poured melted cheese over the whole thing.
Oh, it was so well done coming in and slide. I was like, oh man, a fan of this movie's dream that you just slapped all that cheese on there. It's great. And I was not going to put it up my bum as suggested by Gordy in the film. I wanted to say real quick, I think the soundtrack for that movie is pretty good. It's kind of a time capsule of stuff that was popular at the time or whatever, and some Sex Pistols and Ramones. So
yeah, I mean, it was kind of like, because that was kind of around the same time as The State.
Yeah,
because like, wasn't the deal with The State like?
Well, they're all like have done so much since. Yeah.
But like they don't, like when they put it out on DVDs, like they didn't have the rights to all the MTV music.
Yeah, you couldn't have like MTV. That's what sucks. If you were on a show on MTV back in the day, you had all the access to all their music, like all the licensed stuff. And there's a show, The State, that was a sketch comedy show on MTV or whatever. When you watch it now on Amazon or wherever, it's all just like stock music they had to put in when it used to be like Guns N' Roses and Pearl Jam and whatever. And it was like you remember it a certain way or whatever. And you're like, oh, this is weird. Like one of them. The sketch with where that we have Slash in our house, that deal where it's like Slash is like a vermin in their house, and they put out a big mousetrap for him with whiskey and a baguette and all this stuff, and then once they get rid of Slash finally, but he's like playing November Rain solos and stuff in the bathroom, and they're like chasing him out and whatever. And at the end, she goes, "What's this itching, Sharon?" She goes, "Now we have fleas," and it's a bunch of guys dressed like Flea in the kitchen, like jamming out on bass in their underpants, whatever, that kind of stuff. But that joke doesn't work without either of those two bands' music. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
The next course was Little Lord Fauntleroy's roast beefs.
So good. Thank you for making a beef Manhattan.
That was because the scene when he comes in, he wants to eat the chicken burgers. They get into the fight because he doesn't want to eat the roast beef that his parents are eating. And I like freeze framed the scene to see what was on the plate, and it was like roast beef with corn and broccoli, and then the weirdest layout too. It was like around it. And I was like, what a weird dinner. Like
well, somebody on set thought that dinner would look like.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, I want to do something with this. My go-to with roast beef is like either roast beef sandwich or like the Manhattan. So it's like, oh yeah, I want to do a Manhattan and I want to incorporate. So I did like a street corn, and instead of broccoli, I just did some broccolini or whatever, and then some Texas toast.
I hoovered that thing; it was so good.
Some Amelia's Pullman loaf and Texas toast, and then mashed potato. I hadn't made mashed potatoes in the longest time where I actually peeled them. I feel like I've just gotten into a way where I'm like, just throw them.
I always smash them.
Yeah, like let God sort it out. And I was like, I want to make real sexy mashed potatoes today. And I was just like, man, I forgot how good these mashed potatoes are.
So you usually just leave the skin on?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Huh. Some people like them that way.
Skin on potatoes.
Skin on potatoes.
Did we skip one?
No, we didn't.
I didn't realize those were chicken burgers. I thought you made it out of turkey.
It was a chicken sausage.
It was so good, though.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think that was one. I feel like it might have been one of the favorites, but I felt like I was too scared to get more.
You were very apologetic that the table sent back 3/4 of the chicken burger.
We sent most of it back.
Yeah,
but the loaves were like,
which doesn't even make sense because there were 8 pieces and 6 came back, which means only 2 people had a chicken burger of the 6 that were sitting out there.
No,
but
I don't know if that was true.
Just mathematically,
did everybody eat that, guys?
I did.
Yeah, everybody ate that. I'm just saying it was too much. The bread was so high to the ceiling. Like the bread, like
this compliment started criticism.
And my thumb might be the meat. And so
I feel like this compliment's gone all the way around the Mulberry Bush and has entered criticism's alley.
And people were like,
I was worried about biting my.
This is too much. Yeah,
this is too much.
I couldn't see it, so I couldn't.
It was so good. I had to leave it on the table.
Yeah,
did not touch it.
He came back and he told us how good it was by how much was coming back. I don't think I would have even noticed until
I was like,
he told us how much. That it wasn't indicative.
If you see people put it in the trash, I think they think that's their lunch buckets. Like they're trying to save it.
That makes sense.
They're confused.
We also did a specialty cocktail for you called the Sheshi. Which I wasn't quite sure how to spell. I thought about pausing it, trying to like get the closed captions on it.
I can't tell what he's saying there. Like full on, it's just a nonsense word where he's like, when Tom Green goes into the building and tries to convince his way in, he just says, it's for the Sheshi. It's for the Sheshi right there.
For the Sheshi?
Japan 4. Yeah. That stuff, whatever. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what he says there, but it's great. And then later on, a great callback joke when he's running onto the elevator. Japan 4. I like that. The security guard goes, whatever kind of thing. He knows what it is.
Paying for.
But have you ever done that where you just nonsensed your way into a situation or just act like you're meant to be there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't, but Thad does a lot. And
you
like,
don't got
I will. What I will do is I will draft in Thad's wake of doing something.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you reacted as though like, all the time. I like doing that.
We went to Atlanta, and I was amazed at how many doors that we got passed by him. He just would say, "We're podcasters," like we were like worked for the FBI or something. He's like, "We're podcasters. We got it from here."
It's sort of like you see it, you say it, you have enough confidence.
Well,
Go right through the door.
This is a bank vault, sir.
Yeah, that's the kind of area where like it's a thing that nobody would lie about. So there has to be a reason you said it, right? Like, why would anybody lead with that? Like, surely.
Podcaster. Podcaster.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster.
I've gotten into a few funerals by admitting I'm a podcaster.
I wouldn't even know.
Podcasters will take it from here. Everybody leave.
I wouldn't even know how to check credentials on that.
More people need to wear lanyards just so you can like quickly,
If you have a lanyard, you could get into a lot of places.
Yeah.
I'm like, or
depending
just
on the
this.
venue, yeah.
This is a trick for everybody. It's not scanning. Just push the button.
Yeah.
Let me through. It's not scanning. That's all you gotta do.
Well, yeah, I always used to get in. I mean, like, so a lot of places I would work, but I mean, if you go to a lot of like outdoor festivals and be like, I work on the food truck over there, like they've never checked on any of that stuff.
Man.
Yeah.
Are you snuck into food trucks? It's the most saddest thing
You
ever.
snuck into a job.
Is that what you were just saying? I think I lost it. What did
No,
you
I was saying like if you're outside of a festival where they have like food trucks set up,
yeah.
if you go up and be like, "Hey, I work for one of those food trucks," nobody checks you.
It'd be really
like
funny.
I used to do it because I worked on them, and then it was like, no, this is just the way you can just get in places.
It'd be really funny if
You don't actually
if
have to
Zach was
work.
trying to like
Okay.
Zach was trying to sneak into Bonnaroo, but he had to work a full 8-hour food truck shift.
You end up hornswoggled into it because they see you. Yeah.
Can that be our short film? Like we sneak into what's that big one out in the woods or
Burning Man?
Burning
Burning
Man.
Man.
Yeah, it's out in the desert. We sneak it. Harder Brunch sneaks into Burning Man.
Was Burning Man where they had that? Like everybody got trapped.
Yeah, because it
Was it last year or
rained
year
once,
before?
and they were like, "Oh, this dirt turns to
Somebody
mud."
gave Chris Rock a ride. That's what I remember.
This is not going to happen twice in a row.
And then the dessert was Andy's birthday cake, which is a running gag throughout the movie about this little kid who keeps getting hurt, and he's just like a sweet little boy.
Yeah, he's just like so nice.
and
Tom
he
Green's
keeps getting like hurt because, and I've heard that was the only thing that they made them change out of the whole movie. Did you tell me that?
Yes.
Where they
or you may have heard it somewhere or whatever. Yeah.
where they had to like at the very end of the movie, he like walks into a propeller and like his dad and a bunch of people get sprayed with blood, and they were just like, "Nope, that's too much. Like you have to."
Is that why he says he's okay?
Yeah, he's
It has
okay.
to
It's
be okay
ADR
at the end of the movie.
because the studio went. You can't do that.
You
You do that.
It is kind of funnier that way too.
After you
though.
jack off an elephant, after you
Yeah.
do all those things,
Yeah.
it's Andy can't die in a horrific way at the end and just splatter all over his father's face. That's not good.
Do you think elephants have that much semen in one go? No, because
I
that
never really
seemed
thought
like
about it.
that seemed comically like a large amount even for an elephant.
And
Yeah.
he built it up over time. Maybe it was
He
a
had
tantric
big,
thing.
He had big blue elephant balls.
Look at him.
Not just how to whack off an elephant. And see, good writing. He did that with a horse early in the movie, and then he brings it back and does it with an elephant at the end. That's good writing right there. You bring it all the way around. Bring it all the way around.
From
Jerking off a horse to jerking off an elephant.
From
He
horse to
showed
elephant.
that's where a character grows. You see, is they learn a skill,
Yeah.
and
I
then they
wasn't
use
with
it
it.
to enforce something didn't enforce, but to like affect change at the
Yeah.
end.
Movies got
Do you think it
layers.
stands for he was a Democrat and then he became a Republican, or vice versa?
Well, no, because it was a
One
horse,
was
not
not
a donkey.
Yeah.
Horses can be donkeys.
No, they can't.
He
don't know
was
what
an
you're
ass.
talking
Tom Green
No,
is a total ass,
I
so
do.
that could work. That could
That's,
be part of it.
But they're from the donkey family, horses.
From the
I
donkey
was
family.
reading something this week where they were specifically talking about they were like all the kind of big things, like if you were trying to explain the movie to somebody,
Yeah.
they're like you would say this and they would think that's what the movie's about, but they would be wrong.
Yeah.
Like if you say like, oh, it's about a guy who says that his father molested his brother. You're like, oh, is this like a serious family drama? But there's
that's a joke.
Yeah, it's just like
that's one of the funny parts.
It's called Freddy Got Fingered, but it's like that kind of happens like towards the end of the movie.
I forgot why it was called Freddy Got Fingered, and as we got to that part, I was like, this is crazy that they're going with the child molestation bit, and they're holding to
25. They take him to the deal, and when they all have beards, they all have the beards and the long hair at the end of the That's so funny. But
I mean, his wife leaves him.
Yeah.
He like destroys his parents' marriage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But when I first saw the movie coming out, I remember at the time I thought it was just like trying to get away with a dirty title, and it was going to be about somebody getting fingered for a crime or something. I thought it was Freddy Got Fingered, Freddy Got Fingered for this jewel heist, whatever. I didn't know what it would be. They didn't tell you. They're like, I don't remember the trailer. Maybe they did, but
I got fingered for a jewel heist.
All right.
No one went with that, and that felt wrong.
They should have.
Can you get that out? Oh, you're an asshole.
Oh, he saved you. I was queuing up the shame button.
Oh,
always end on a bomb.
You're trying to get the shame button.
That's the Thad Mckee promise.
Yeah, be the ending of the episode. Me interrupting someone for a pretty good bit. If everybody laughs, if everybody was thinking about it.
That's the crazy thing about jokes, right? If they all laugh.
Eli, once again, tell the people at home where they can find you and follow you on social media.
Do you need anything done with your social media? Do you need good videos? Check me out. Shout me a holler. Elijah Grimes at hotmail.com, or just check me out on Mean Maxine on Instagram. Mean_Maxine on Instagram.
Daddy's Shake.
You can find me at Thad Mckee. I'm just gonna be honest. Hangover 3 was shit.
It's on the record now.
We all
loved it. I loved it.
My character loved it.
Zach Rowe.
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
Casey Campo.
You can find me online at Danger Brewer.
Make sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Harder Brunch. For only $3, you can help support your favorite podcasters and get access to our thick library of After Brunch. It's thick with 3 C's. Zach.
Thick and veiny.
Hey guys,
you'll hear a lot of that kind of humor.
I thought we had to be no big joke humor
on the After Brunch.
Come on.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.